Alright guys, welcome in. As you can see, I got my replacement Air 3, and I figured I would do an unboxing and a setup just to show people that aren't as familiar with drones as most of us that are on YouTube, and give them an idea of what to expect when unboxing a DJI drone and how to set it up. So we're going to get right to it. I had several issues with my last Air 3, and DJI sent me a replacement. They actually called me on the way home from work today and asked how the new drone was and if there was any issues. But as you can see, I haven't opened it yet. But I thought that was pretty cool. DJI is one of the best, if not the best, in customer service. Alright. First thing I noticed about opening a DJI drone is the smell. They have a very distinct smell. It smells like quality. That's the only thing I can compare it to. It smells like quality. Alright, that's the bag it comes in. Got this strap here. I think this is a little bit of magnetic with a little bit of pressure. And it opens just like that. You pull out the drone first. Everything comes nicely packaged in this premium plastic. So you can expect that everything's going to be dust free and good to go. Tell you, this Air 3 is one of the best drones I've ever had. Well, it's the best drone, let me say. But there it is. Comes with a nice gimbal protector. Protects the forward obstacle sensors, obstacle avoidance, and it's just got a very nice overall fit and finish. You got the optical flow sensors down here it determines how close you are to the ground when you're in low light condition, or I'm sorry, when there's no GPS, and the light here helps it land in low light conditions. You have a LiDAR sensor right here, helps detect the height of the drone from the ground. And it's bigger than the Air 2, far bigger than the Mini series. And I like a bigger drone. They're more stable in the sky, more stable in the wind. And when you want to pop this gimbal cover off, underneath here, you push right on the bottom and tilt it forward. It pops right off. Very simple. A lot of people are having issues with that, but that's the proper way to do it. It comes with this foam around the gimbal to protect it from movement. I keep this. I would recommend keeping it and putting it back on when you put your gimbal protector back on. But that's it. Comes with one battery already installed, and DJI batteries are not active when you get them. They won't even light up. You got to charge them up to activate them. Alright, moving right along. You got propellers here. And when I sent my old one back, well, my faulty one, I did not send the propellers back. I figured, might as well keep them. They're not very expensive for DJI, and I consider that the cost of having to wait for a new drone. So I'm not even going to open these, but I'll get my open set and show you. These are your props there. They come with soft rubber tips, so if they happen to come into contact with human flesh, they won't cut you. As I learned the hard way with my Air 2, it will slice you, and it'll slice you good. So be careful. Alright, here we go. We got the RC2. If you're going to get this bundle, it is the Air 3 Fly More combo with RC2. And it comes with the built-in screen, no need for the phone. That's so nice to have. If you fly with a phone and you go to the RC2 or RC or RC Pro, any of the smart controllers, it is a completely different experience than flying with the RC N1, which uses the phone as the screen. You got a lot more options with this controller. If I can get it open. See, it's got a little bit of a charge, but you have antennas here that pop out. I'll tell you, these are a lot harder than the last one. The last one was very easy to open. There you go. You got a power button there. You press once and press and hold to power it on. You got the return to home button and your pause button. You pause it and it'll stop where it's at and hover and maintain the height. You got your camera shutter button, your record button. Over here is your gimbal up, gimbal down, your zoom in, zoom out. Then you have two C1, C2 buttons on the back that you can program to do numerous things. I like to program one for cruise control and the other one for gimbal down and gimbal up. 90 degrees down, 90 degrees up. And that's the controller. I set that there. This is one of the newest things to come with the Air series is this charging hub. Before you just had a power strip where the batteries, they plugged into it, but they kind of just sat on it, so if you moved it, they would come unplugged, and you know, it was just a hassle. This charging hub is really nice. It's very chunky, very heavy. You can tell it's quality made. It's got buttons on the back here to release the batteries. They go in just like such. Very simple. Very nice addition to the series, I think. And then I think that's it for the bag. This does not come with a charger, so they do sell a 100-watt DJI charger on the website, but it's $95, and I would suggest getting an Anchor charger. You can get them for around $25 with the right link, I think. This here I picked up on Amazon. It's the Anchor Nano Gen 2 100-watt charger. It's got two USB-C ports and a regular USB port. And it will charge all three batteries in roughly 2.5 hours. And you can charge your cell phone off of it. It charges a cell phone very quickly. So that's what I recommend. No need to spend $100. If you want the DJI name and you got the cash, then go ahead and pick it up. But you do not need it. You do, however, need 100 watts. Anything less than 100 watts, and you're going to be there a while. You got the flight quick start guide. A USB-C to USB-C plug for charging the RC and transferring data. And the bag has a nice felt lining, very protective. I actually ordered a Start RC hard case, so that should be here soon. If you want to go on the water or you want to go out, take it out in the rain, I don't recommend flying it in the rain, but if you want to transport it, I recommend a hard case. But that's it. And stay with me, and I'll charge up everything, and we'll set it up, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, welcome back, folks. It's been about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. The battery charged up in about 45 minutes, and the RC takes a little longer. It's about 90% charged, I would say. It's not 100%, but I think it's charged up enough to do the setup. And you usually have to download a firmware, and depending on your internet service, it could take anywhere from a couple minutes to 20-30 minutes. In my experience, it's been relatively easy and pretty fast, so that's a good thing. See, we got our battery fully charged. We'll pop it in the drone, and you press and then press and hold, and turns the drone on, and press and hold, turns on the RC. Now the drone has 8 gigabytes of internal storage, and it has a spot for an SD card here in the rear, very easily accessible compared to other DJI models. It's got a USB-C port for transferring data directly off of the drone. You can also charge the battery through that port, but it doesn't charge as fast as, say, the Anchor. Now, with all DJI drones, you're required to do this setup, and just press next for English, software terms of use. Yeah, I agree. United States. Next. And click your Wi-Fi. You gotta use Wi-Fi, or you can use your phone, and it's gonna prompt you to type in your Wi-Fi password. Alright, we're all connected up. And then you're going to select your time zone. For us, I'm on the East Coast, so we're going to go up here. I think I passed it. I've always have trouble finding my time zone. Mountain Time, Arizona, Pacific. Eastern, right there. Eastern Greenwich Mean Time. And we'll hit OK. It's very important that you select the correct time zone. Make sure time zone is set correctly. It has the date and the time. Incorrect time may prevent device activation. That's why I said you want to make sure you select the correct time zone. Alright, and then if you haven't already, you'll want to create a DJI account using your email address, and you're going to create a password. I already have one, so I'm going to go ahead and log into it. Alright, now we're logged in. We're going to click activate. Now once you activate this account, it's going to start your 48 hours to purchase DJI Care Refresh if you have not already done so. So we're going to activate and click start. It tells you all the screen gestures, how to operate the controls, buttons overview, and we'll skip that. It goes through this little advertising video. For each controller, this video is going to be different, and you want to allow everything. It says, would you like to join the product improvement project? I elect not to, but to each his own. And right here, this is asking me to activate the aircraft. I'm going to agree. Activation successful. Now here it's telling me I can purchase my Care Refresh now if I haven't already, and it says purchase within 48 hours. And my previous Air 3 I had a few weeks ago that was faulty. I did not purchase the Care Refresh originally when purchasing the drone, but I wanted to get it, but I got off work too late, and by the time I got home it was about an hour past the 48-hour mark. So if you want the Care Refresh, I suggest you do it immediately or the very same day. Didn't mean to hit that. Alright, here it's asking me to update firmware. Added support for taking 48 megapixel photos. Added support for adjusting style parameters such as sharpness, noise reduction, and video mode. Added support for shutter speed options of 2.5 seconds to 8 seconds for simulated long exposure when taking 12 megapixel photos. Added support for using wide angle lens, optimized return to home in low light environment. And then you have some information for the RC. Added support to download footage from the aircraft to micro SD card of the remote controller. Added support to play the original 4K video downloaded from the aircraft. Optimized video transmission. Fix some known issues. Now my last Air 3 I was unable to screen record directly to the SD card. I've heard that's an issue with all of these. I don't know if that's a manufacturing issue or if they purposely did that. But this may added support to download footage from the aircraft to the SD card. I don't think that has to do with screen recording, but we'll find out. It says do not close the app and make sure the connected device has over 20% remaining battery. Update will take around 10 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and click update. And we'll set that there and let it do its thing. You don't want to turn the drone off or the controller. I wouldn't even recommend touching it. Just set it down and let it do its thing. This RC has 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. It's probably around 20 to 25 after the software, takes up its space. I always recommend using an SD card for, backup purposes. I also ordered screen protectors for the screen. I would highly recommend ordering these because over time, from being put in and out of the case, the screen gets scratched, and it just protects the screen for numerous reasons. I got this off Amazon. I think it was $14. There's 3 protectors in here, and they're glass. It's actually Gorilla Glass. It says anti-shattering, favorable touch, high transparency, perfect adhesion, 9H surface hardness, and lipophobic coating. That means it's hydrophobic. When it gets wet, it'll still activate the touch sensors. Excuse me. And Johnny Drone Flyer did a review on the Start RC case, and he also had a set of Start RC ND filters. Now with the Air 3, it has a has a 2.8 inch or 2.8 aperture on the top camera and a 1.7 on the bottom. So it lets in a lot of light. That 2.8 lens it lets in a lot of light, so I would highly recommend getting a set of ND filters. I wanted to get Freewell. That's what I have on my other drones, but the shipping time on the Freewell ones were mid-September, so I went ahead and went with the Start RC. Start RC is a good company, so you can expect them to be quality. Alright, we're at 37% already. It's moving right along. Now these propellers, let me show you. If you look on the drone, it has gray rings on the corner, on the opposite corner propellers. And if you look at the motors, I'm sorry. If you look on the propellers, it has corresponding gray lines. You want to match up the gray lines with the gray lines and the black with the black. That is critical if you try to take off with these mixed up. A lot of times the aircraft won't even take off, but my FPV drone, I had them cross one time and it started seizing up, started flipping and flopping. So you want to make sure you get that correct. This is always the fun part, is updating the firmware, because you gotta do nothing but wait. One thing I like about the Air 3 is it's got omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, which did not have on the previous generation of Air, the Air 2S and Air 2. So the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance is very nice for when you're getting sideways shots and going vertical. It detects obstacles going vertical. And with this Air 3, you want to be very careful because it has one of the highest ascent and descent speeds of any DJI drone. I think it's only comparable to the Inspire 3. Yeah, I believe it goes up at around 22 miles an hour. It comes down at around 15. Now, this is by no means an expert opinion or by the book. This is just general information that I've learned from using this drone and from what I've seen online. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into how to set it up and pretty much what to expect. We're at 90% and the aircraft just powered off. I think it's almost done. Usually when it gets to around 90, it'll jump and finish up. It's at 91. It's got a lot of updates in this firmware, so not every firmware update will take as long. This is 1,499 megabytes, so it's a hefty firmware update. And you can see the RC is restarting. It's a sign that it's just about finished up. As you can see, both aircraft and RC are going to turn off and turn back on numerous times. Alright, I think we're all set up. Firmware's been downloaded. And before you take your first flight, you always want to go in and set your return to home height. I always set it for around the highest obstacle near me. You never really know until you get in the sky, but you can do a rough guesstimate. Firmware installed. And this up here in the right hand corner is a little I'd say a manual. It says, how do I fly the aircraft, where should I go for my first flight, and how do I fly safely. If you already have a DJI aircraft, follow that instruction to explore a whole new world. Okay. And it says, care refresh is available for purchase within the next 48 hours after activating the Air 3. And you go in here, click fly, and it gives you a beginner's tutorial, and it gives you a pre-flight checklist.
Perform a safety check before you fly.
Now, I believe this will come up every time you start the aircraft unless you select don't see again. Check to ensure the gimbal protector is removed. I've made that mistake a handful of times. You always want to remove the gimbal protector before you power the aircraft on, or it could damage the gimbal. Check to ensure the aircraft is placed with the rear side facing you. As you can see, both aircraft and RC are going to turn off and turn back on numerous times. And antennas in relation to the aircraft. Alright. And it's going to run through all these tutorials. I'm not going to go through all of them. Alright, I think we're all set up, but it just gives you firmware's been downloaded. Before you take your first flight, you always want to go in and set your return to home height. And that's it, guys. I always set it pretty much around the highest obstacle near me. I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this, you never really know until you get in the sky, but if you haven't already, you can do a rough guess. Hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. And this up here in the right hand corner is a little